You're leading this one.
I'm leading this one.
This is your job. This is you. This was all you. You planned this. This was your idea. I didn't.
I'm in charge now?
You have the con, Wesley.
Excellent. Why do you have to be Wesley? Why do you have to go there? Yeah, all right.
Who do you... Wait, you have the con, Chief O'Brien.
Better.
You want to be a Cole Meany?
Better.
Everything gets better with a Cole Meany, let's be honest.
Well, then get me my whiskey ensign.
Yeah. Your synthahol.
My synthahol.
That's going to Quarks and play some darts. That's going to make us relatable. Could you imagine it's the far future and you can like make anything in the holodeck? Like you could just be endlessly masturbating in this like room forever, and instead you go play darts and listen to chamber music. Like such total bullshit.
This makes me feel more grounded and connected. Here, let me go hang out with my genetically engineered friend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with Julian Bashir.
Two of these things don't work together.
He was like the genetically engineered incel too. Like he had the weirdest energy.
Wait, what are we doing today? Oh right, hey. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Hey! We've hit on all the great Dungeons and Dragons tropes. Incel culture, the holodeck, and Star Trek. Nailed it. I like how I'm fucking up your episode now as opposed to
that's okay.
mine.
That's okay. We've switched. This is a weird. It's a mirror universe thing.
Yeah.
Should have done the goatee.
You should. I'll draw it on.
Just draw one on.
I post. I'll MS Paint you.
I'll try to remain perfectly still so people can just Sharpie it on their own
It'll be
computer
screens. Yeah, it's like a window that your head is just moving in and out of. It'd be incredible.
Anyway,
yeah.
So we've decided in our talk about playing different role-playing games that we're actually gonna go back in time and hit on a lot of the classics, right? So we've done Fighting Fantasy, Advanced Fighting Fantasy. Somehow we didn't start with D&D, which is just who we are. It's just who we are.
It feels okay. Like, I'll be honest, this is almost like an exploration of like where D&D is right now. Yes. So, because we did talk a lot about D&D in those Fighting Fantasy episodes, and also in my like Dice Man conversation, like where did this all come from stuff. So we talked about like the bones of it, and I think that's like that leads us to kind of talking about today, because this is like what precipitated this was you discovering all these like module sets with minis, because that was a big thing for us, was minis need to be involved in some way, right?
For sure.
And so there's so much consumable content around the open game license and around D&D. It felt like this was the right time to do something like this.
Yeah, so I mean, I've played D&D since 83, so for 40 years now.
Yeah.
My back hurts. So it's been 40 years, and we were just talking about this off camera, but I have a huge collection of D&D stuff, like books. I have a huge collection of miniatures from D&D and other things. I have a huge collection of spiral-bound notebooks full of crap that I could use at any point in time. And yet somehow, in spite of the fact that I own all those things, the idea of like a pre-packaged, you use the example of a pre-prepared meal kit.
Like a HelloFresh, yeah.
Super appeals to me. Like the idea that with Mantic's Dungeon series or Steam-Forged Games Epic Encounters, that I can buy a box that has like battle maps and miniatures and or scenery, and it's just good to go. One go.
There's even subscription services. There was like Dungeon Crate for a while where you got like paper standees.
Terrain Crate does it too for Mantic still. Yeah. So there's a lot of those things, but I like the idea that it's curated and it's already ready and good to go. I as much as I like the big, massive, expansive idea of playing some huge epic campaign, I really like the idea of being able to pack and unpack like a board game. Like just pull out a bunch of stuff.
I feel like lifestyle-wise it fits us too, because we don't necessarily know when we're going to have time to get together again, and life can get busy and we don't see each other. So being able to just like unpack a thing and just have it ready to go. It's like it's a meal kit, literally. Like we can just be like playing a game basically. And it's not there's no prep, but you have the like mental gymnastics part of it kind of done for you, so you're not doing like all the heavy lifting yourself.
Yep. So what we've decided is we're going to go ahead and play through the first Mantic Dungeon kit, which is called...
You ordered it. I don't know.
Yeah, I ordered it.
Which is called Dungeon of the
Skeleton on the cover.
Just Dungeon of the Undead.
There's two different undead ones.
Damn it. Skeleton Man. I'm going to just open it.
Yeah, do I just hold my hand over my mouth
I'll just,
and then
I'm going to
record a completely
I'll movie magic this afterwards.
Just record a completely different voice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Like, Mr. Black. You guys should listen to Mr. Black. It's me like Camp Krusty. Perfect.
So, this is pretty much Camp Krusty.
This is...
I'm pretty...
I can
we will start the animated Bataan Death March very soon.
It is that budget, yeah.
So we decided to do that. But ahead of doing that, we're going to make your character.
This is session 0.
Yeah, this is session 0. So, which I think, because you've run some D&D for your kids.
Yep.
But is this your first time playing D&D?
So, like, I've never I have played D&D. I've owned millions of D&D books. You've seen my D&D collection, right? Like, but my problem was I could never get people to play with me. So I tried everything. I tried being part of other people's D&D campaigns that would collapse. After like a single session or like a session 0. I tried running them here back when the studio was not like this, obviously, and it fell apart because people moved away and we just didn't, and then the pandemic happened because we're starting before the pandemic started.
Yeah, because you and I were all geared up to do that.
We
and
were.
It's like, no, I'll see you in 2 years.
Yeah, I'll see you in 2 years. We're just gonna not be able to do this. So it's funny because I've always been like D&D adjacent in my hobby. But 2 things I think really like made me struggle with it. One, I always had to figure out the way to incorporate the minis.
Right.
So this is like right up my alley. Having pre-made maps and having like all of that sort of like done for me and like a curated miniature selection, I'm right there for. And so RPGs like obviously Warhammer Quest and Cursed City and Hero Quest and stuff like that, they were way easier to just like unpack and play. So I'm familiar with like the basic mechanics. I've run it for my kids. I know the basics of like every single D&D world because I read all the TSR novels when I was a kid too,
right.
Which was a big impetus for me buying the modules back then in like the 90s. Is that I like these worlds. I want to know about Farron. I want to know about the drag like Kryn. I want to know about Dark Sun because it's got weird Brahm art that makes me feel funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's got all this stuff that I want to.
Has muscles.
That's right. Yeah, she looks like she could kick my ass.
Her muscles have muscles.
That's right. Yeah, Brahm was definitely high on my list of artists back then. That idea of like there's all of this like content around playing D&D. I had so much of it, but I never really got to like sink my teeth into a campaign and play it. I played a few times, 2 sessions, like, but way more solo fighting fantasy, obviously, and way more like board game driven RPGs. So for this will be, if we actually manage to do more than one of these in a row, this will be the first time I have successfully engaged in D&D in a I guess I would say serialized format.
So I think and I think what we're gonna do, my plan at least to kick off, is because I want to experiment with a few of these different products, is we're going to basically do a series of one-shots, but with the same characters. So like, there'll be a bit of a narrative tying them together, but it's not part of what people would traditionally think of as a traditional D&D campaign where you're flowing from one location in a campaign world to another.
It's vignettes. I love that. And I'll be honest,
I think anthology series.
An anthology series fits me way better in that, like, I don't want to manage the minutia of like where this guy lives for the next 6 months and like how does he pay his rent and stuff like that. This isn't Person Simulator.
This isn't Michael Myers Halloween. This is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah, I want more Geralt of Rivia TV show where it's going from like time period to time period. You don't have to know what happened in between because it doesn't matter.
No. So we're gonna do that to kick off. We're gonna do that to start, and basically so I can play with a bunch of different toys because I want to play with some different toys and see how that works.
I think that's a great idea because we can take modules from all these different companies and stitch them together into what we want it to be eventually. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, and I think that's getting the best of what's out there and what's available, and we don't have to like be we can be polygamerists, you know what I mean? Like, we can just dip into what we like.
And I think if the boat gets clear enough of the shore and like next year we want to look at, hey, do we want to do like a bigger, broader thing? We could do that.
Yeah, or do we want to pick a setting that we think is cool and try it out? I'm really interested. I'm interested in that horror Legends of Aventus Crooked Moon expansion that just went on Kickstarter because it looks up my alley. It's got that that folk horror look to it. Looks pretty cool.
That looks super rad. And like I said to you before, I watched when that crew played Curse of Strahd originally, and that was a good time.
Horror gaming with you and me. I mean, if we're gonna take our RPGs, they need to be slightly grim and slightly dark. So
of the safest of bets, it's the safest of bets.
Yeah, exactly. Where the good guys maybe win. I might have a lot of characters, is what we're saying. To be fair, of any RPG thing you and I've done so far together, no one's lived. They've all been unintentional. No. And these are like the lightest of RPGs too, and we're having like very dark moments.
Trying to figure out why we're playing Aeon Flux as a fantasy RPG campaign, but
I used a goblin corpse to test magic items on. I straight up Herbert Wested a bunch of goblins.
Yes,
it
you
was
did.
I bullied one of them too, and then used his corpse to see what magic items might have like negative
Yeah,
properties.
that was. You know what? When I started that adventure, I wasn't really thinking grim.
I learned a lot about
You
myself.
made it so grim and dark.
Yeah, sometimes you realize you're not like other people. Like that's one of those times when I figured that out about myself.
Yeah, I feel like if we could get the psychiatrist from Lucifer in here somehow,
Yeah.
I feel like that might not be a terrible idea. But,
Yeah. It's the thin line between the profiler and the
probably outside of the budget. But Satan's therapist would not be a poor choice, I guess.
So obviously we're stitching this over here. We're starting with like an undead theme. So I need to make a character out of the player's handbook.
Yeah, so we're gonna. Originally, I was thinking we'd mess around with a bunch of the new playtest material, but I thought let's not bother. Let's keep it simple, strip down, and then when invariably it goes the way it goes, we can look at layering on other stuff for possible subsequent characters.
Yeah. So what is the possible for the rogues gallery in the bone pit?
Not Ash, the son of Ash.
That's right.
Ash the third.
It's like Beowulf. Everyone's just the descendant of the descendant of the
I will
descendant.
avenge you, father.
That's right. So temporally, one of the things that you guys always talked about that we like with the player's handbook is it's written in the order that you think a character up in. Yeah. And I really like that. So it's not actually stats first, is it? It's pick your background, pick your race.
It traditionally is, but we're going to flip it a little bit. And part of the reason for that is the push-pull in different fantasy role-playing games typically is grim and gritty versus heroic.
Right.
And with doing a single character and high fantasy and all that sort of thing, I think we want to lean heroic.
Sure.
So we're certainly not going to min-max or anything, but I think starting off with the mechanics and working our way back to what we want that to look like is probably the way to go.
See what our ingredients are first. I got it. Okay.
So I think the logical way to start would be we're going to roll stats.
Cool.
So the method we're going to go with is roll 4d6,
Okay.
drop the lowest to get a number between 3 and 18.
Got it.
And then we will rearrange them, or Ash will rearrange them to the order he wants.
Got it.
Based on the type of character he wants to play.
So let's see what I'm working with here. And do I call it a stat and then roll, or do I just...
No, you roll. You're going to generate
the
6 numbers, and then you're going to rearrange them however you want.
All right, so my first roll, I'm dropping a 2, so I got a 4, 3, 6. That's going to put me at a 13. It's a healthy stat. I think that gets you a plus. The threshold's 13, right? For
13 is where you get your +1.
Your first +1, yeah. So second stat. Oh, we're looking at 10. So we got that's the bare minimum for not a negative for those unfamiliar with D&D. And we got our first high stats. So I'm dropping a 2. I got a double 6 and a 4, so I got a 16. I think that gets me a +3.
+3.
Yeah, that's good. All right, because it goes 13,
odd
15,
even.
odd even, yeah. I got
17. Look at you.
I'm looking pretty heroic so far. I got 2 more rolls here. Pretty average. This one's an 11, and then my last one. Bad. So I got 2 decent stats.
Everything's 10 or higher. You're good so far.
I got
another
a 16.
Wow.
Not too shabby. All right, so I got a pretty heroic character here. I'm going to start off with a human because that's how I know how to roleplay as someone who is born lucky. And I believe human just gives you +1 to a stat, doesn't it?
Human gives you either +1 to all of your stats.
That's right. Yeah.
Because again, we're playing with the original player's handbook. Some people might be aware that there's new variants of that, but we're not there yet. The other option in the player's handbook for humans is +1 to 2 different stats and a free feat, which are like special abilities that you get.
And you don't usually unlock feats until level 2, right?
They usually come with either like they
they level
setting,
up.
they come as part of packages,
right?
Or you hit them at every 4th level. You can either get a stat bump or a feat. If I were you, I would take the 2 stats and the feat because your stats are already so high.
I think so too, because I think if I make my 2 odds into evens, I'll be better off because I can have a 14 and an 18, and then I'll get the free feat on top of it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna make this 13 and 14. I'm gonna make this 17 and 18. I'm going to be a human. So and you really like these. So we'll link this. The Harper's Tale is the stat sheet that you like?
I printed up some character sheets from a Kickstarter from before the pandemic.
Okay.
So Harper's Tale, which is still available on Drive-Thru RPG. Excellent adventure. Really good narrative. Amazing art.
Sweet.
And
Harper's Tale alludes to Farron and Forgotten Realms, right?
No.
Okay, I heard Harper's and I immediately thought of that.
No, it's the designer Matt Corley. His daughter's name is Harper.
That tracks. Okay.
Cool. So it's an adventure that he kind of wrote with her and then brought in some industry people to write.
That's amazing.
So if you wanted to check out Matt's stuff on Drive-Thru, it's Matthew Corley, and his company's called Saturday Morning Scenarios. He's got some other really good stuff up there, which if we do the horror thing, you will definitely be seeing.
Sweet.
But the nice thing about the character sheet is they've condensed a lot of this stuff. So instead of seeing the same information repeated 2 or 3 times like you do in the basically formatted D&D character sheet, it's all condensed to where it really lives, which is under the stats.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I've got my stats now. I think I need to look at a class before I assign these, right? Because I need to know what my key stats are going to be.
So the big thing you want to choose from is there's basically 3 types of characters, for lack of a better way to put it. There's martial characters, so characters whose primary strength is fighting, engaging in physical activities, whether it's a sword, bow, whatever.
Right.
There's arcane characters, which are like your wizards, sorcerers, guys who use like typically a lot of what we'd think of as battle magic in Warhammer. And then there's divine characters, which are characters who draw their magical abilities and also their other abilities from divine entities like gods or other planar powers and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
So I will tell you, unlike the advanced fighting fantasy thing where you better pick a fighter because you're going to be low level and you're going to die if you don't, you're going to have a couple henchmen when we play the adventure.
Okay,
so you can do whatever you want and you won't feel a gap.
Right, because there's going to be somebody to back me up.
Have a couple little friends to hang out.
Okay, so my thing is I want to play something off what I've played so far. I think I want to play something slightly mystical. I think I'm going to be a druid.
Cool.
Because a druid's going to let me do some unconventional stuff. And as you've seen, I like doing unconventional things like talking to animals, being able to like sneak or change form. I think that for me will be more interesting than, because it's going to let me do weirder stuff, which I think I'm up for. And it also, I feel like that whole like that predilection towards life will put me in opposition with all of the undead-y death things that I might encounter, which I think is cool.
So a druid is a nature-based divine character. I'm going to give you that.
Sweet, I should have brought mine.
No, that's okay.
I didn't.
That's okay. So it has some suggestions for where you want to focus up your abilities.
Okay.
The biggest one is that wisdom is the stat that's going to affect your spell casting the most as a druid.
Got it.
Now, beyond that, druids can actually go a lot of different ways. So we're actually going to be starting play at 3rd level.
Oh, cool.
And the big thing at 3rd level in D&D is 3rd level is where your characters start to take on their different paths. So it's where a fighter ceases to be a fighter and is either like an eldritch knight or a battle master. So this is, for a druid, this is a big deal because at 3rd level is where you decide if you're a touchy-feely nature druid,
right, or
if you're going to be a shape-shifty, I do
druid.
Touchy-feely nature stuff, but also I can turn into a bear and eat your face.
yeah. Because at 2nd level you gain Wild Shape and Druid Circle, and you get 2 cantrips, 4 1st level slots, and 2 2nd level slots, which means I've got some decent spellcasting at this level of being a druid too. So the shapeshifty druid, by the way, for anybody who's seen the D&D movie but not D&D, an owlbear.
that's turning into an owlbear is not a thing you can actually do in the game, but that is the kind of druid that you're looking at.
Yeah, you can do the Team Hulk basically if you want. So I also have a decent amount of hit dice. I have D8s for my hit dice, which is cool.
Yep.
Plus my con, and then I get proficiencies in armor, which I think is very handy. Clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars, sickles and slings. My saves are on intelligence and wisdom, and my casting's based on wisdom.
Correct.
Now, I don't feel like the wisest person in the world. Oh, and my starting weapons can be a leather armor, explorer's pack, druidic focus, a scimitar, or any simple weapon. So I always like being high in dexterity because I feel like it gets me out of a lot of trouble. And I feel like intelligence and wisdom then could be my 2 16s. So I think I'm actually going to max out my dexterity at 18.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I know, interesting that I'm not doing the other ones, but then I'm going to do wisdom and intelligence at 16.
The other upside of high dexterity for a druid character is that I think your proficiency with armor is light armor.
That's right.
And the light armor in D&D still lets you get your dexterity bonus as a bonus.
As a bonus on top of your armor. Yeah, exactly. Because I can stack those 2 things. And also I believe you hit on dexterity for things like slings, scimitars, and
if it's a finesse weapon, like so I know short sword is
short sword and scimitar. So like I think that most of those weapons are going to allow me to use that as my attack bonus, which feels good. I'm going to throw my 11 into strength, just to keep it average. I'm going to put my 14, I think, into con, and my charisma into a 10. Because I've been out in the wilds. I like talking to animals. I don't like people that much. That kind of tracks. So that puts my strength bonus at +0, my dexterity bonus at +4, because it goes 13, 15, 17, +4. My con bonus at +2, because I'm only at 14. My intelligence bonus at +3.
Sorry, your con is...
Oh, no, +1 still. Yeah, it's at 15. It goes to +2, doesn't it?
No, I'm already doing this wrong. You were right, +2.
That's what I thought. It was every 2 over 10. I thought it was every 2 over 10. Yeah. That's right. Okay, yeah. Because I knew 11 didn't get me anything. Yeah, +2. +3 at 16. And then +3 for wisdom at 16. And then +0 for charisma. Perfect. And then my proficiency bonus at level 2 is still +2.
And it's right there.
Oh, cool. You can just see it on the stat thing. That's amazing.
And the reason it's got it right there on the sheet is when you pick your proficiencies, you're just going to check them off. And whenever you're asked to make a skill roll, you're going to roll under your stat. And if you have the check next to it, you're going to add your proficiency bonus.
Got it. Okay, cool. So now my speed is also based on my dexterity, which means I'm going to be pretty fast. And my initiative is also based on my dexterity.
Your initiative is based on your dexterity. Yeah. Your speed is actually based on your race.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right, because it's how long my legs are.
So your base speed as a human is going to be 30 feet.
That's right.
And then that may change if you're doing shapeshifty stuff.
And 30 feet in tile terms for the miniatures, I think it's 6 tiles.
It's 6. They're 5-foot squares.
6-inch move. The industry standard 6-inch move.
Apparently, yeah. We've all
Everything comes from D&D. Everything comes from D&D. So I start off with equipment pack.
You might as well do your hit points now that you got your
that's right. Sorry, I got 3d8, don't I?
No. So at first level, you get maximum hit points. So you get 8 plus your constitution bonus.
+2, so it'll be 10.
And then you're going to roll 2d8.
Got it.
For level 2 and 3 and add 4 more.
Can I reroll 1 still for this? Is that a thing still in D&D? No, okay. It's only when you start off. So I got a 6 and a 4. So 10, so I get 20 hit points.
No, you got 24 because you're still adding your constitution bonus to each one.
Con bonus to each one. That's right. Yeah. No, 10 to start.
Yeah.
Oh, to each one. Yeah, 24.
To each die. You get your con bonus.
Right. So hit points is 24. My hit die is D8. Inspiration points is during an adventure. My level is 3, not 1, Ash, because you were that early, because you weren't listening to your DM. My size is medium, right, because I'm a human?
Correct.
Now I got to pick an alignment. Oof, okay. I mean, it's hard for me not to act my personality, so I always try and pick an alignment that is kind of my personality, but it's such a trope to do, like, the neutrals.
So druids actually favor towards neutrality.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to preserve the balance.
Balance of nature, exactly. Yeah. So I think neutral good's where I'm gonna land.
So we just need to find a copyright-friendly version of the Circle of Life to sporadically insert.
Yeah, I was just sing it.
How do I justify what I'm doing? Right. It's the circle.
Time is a flat circle of life. So I think, so now I can do equipment. I got to pick my spells too, right?
Yes.
And my form if I'm able to wild shape.
So what I would do, just because it's reasonably thorough, is you can either roll gold and buy equipment, which is laborious and doesn't have a lot of benefit,
I don't want to do that.
You can pick from the packages that they have under the character class.
Yeah,
so if you look
that's
under
what
Druid,
I'm going to do. It says Explorer's Pack and Druidic Focus, and I can get a simple melee weapon, a scimitar, or a wooden shield and a simple weapon. So I want to see what finesse weapons are out there, obviously, because that's going to be a big part of whether or not it's after this, isn't it?
I think
it's right after the character section, isn't it? Ability scores, proficiencies, tools. Here we go. Yeah, it's in here.
Back a couple pages.
Yeah, hunting traps.
There.
Well.
Oh no, sorry.
No, I think it's after the.
Hard to read upside down.
This is the generic. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finesse.
So it'll be listed there if it's a finesse weapon under properties.
So dagger is a finesse weapon, which I obviously can take. Dart is a finesse weapon. That's cool because I can make darts. A rapier, a scimitar. Perfect. Okay, it's a scimitar. Short sword is also. So I'm going to go with a scimitar.
Basically, what you're going to find when it comes to blades in D&D is if it's stabby, it's typically a finesse weapon, and if it's slashy, it's typically not.
Yeah, and this one is slashing finesse though, which is interesting. So it's D6 slashing, and then my bonus will be +4 because I'm using Dex. Does that bonus to damage as well, or just to
That's just a hit.
Got it.
Yeah.
And then I get a second thing. I think I'm going to take a dart. Want to go for a dart? That's a very Canadian way of saying have a smoke. I'm going to go with
the less grimdark version of coffin
weapon.
nail.
Yeah, I mean, I could also take. I think simple weapons are still
simple weapons.
Clubs. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what does it say. Simple under
I
the
think yours.
class.
It'll say it under.
Oh, it says right here. Simple ranged weapon or simple melee.
I think
weapon,
even then your simple weapons are slightly restricted because other than the sickle and the scimitar, I think it's all natural weapons, like weapons made out of wood
and
leather,
stuff like that.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So what is a versatile weapon?
A versatile weapon is a weapon that can be used one-handed or two-handed. So it'll have It'll have two different damage numbers.
Got it.
The second one is when it's used two-handed.
Got it. And it's bludgeoning versatile. So I wouldn't get my bonus on that one. What about a sickle?
So which weapon were you looking at?
I was looking at the quarterstaff.
So I will tell you as a druid, the advantage with taking a club or a quarterstaff, I think quarterstaff.
But some of my spells lean into it, don't
One
they?
of your spells, I think Shillelagh, lets you turn it into a magic weapon.
Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, there's no finesse club. So I could do that.
It's called a baton, son.
It's called a baton. That's
what
right.
do you use it for? We club people
We
with
club people with it. But it also means I can poke stuff with my quarterstaff, and I do like a 10-foot pole. So I think I will take a quarterstaff because it's a simple weapon. And I'm just a druid, so I should look cool with the staff. And that's a strength bonus. It's +0, d6, bludgeoning. And then armor, I'm going to have light leather armor. Now, what does that give me armor class-wise?
I can't remember if it makes you AC. I think you went past.
I probably did.
Oh, or maybe it's before weapons. Again, I'm not used to. I think maybe it's before weapons.
All right, that tracks. What I'm wearing and what I'm carrying. Armor and shields. So I have leather armor, which is 11 plus my dex mod. So it's going to be 15 is going to be my armor class to start off with. And it's 10 pounds. So 11 plus my dex mod. Where do I put my armor class? Up here. 11 plus dex is 15. That's not terrible.
That's really good for a lightly armored character.
And then for perception, it's 10 plus my wisdom bonus, which will be 13.
So that's your passive perception.
Okay.
That's when I don't want to tell you that you're looking for something.
I'm always considered to roll a 13, right? Is that what it is?
So what it means is if I'm not asking you to roll, you're getting a 13. If you're actively looking for something, you can roll and add so you can get more than 13. But like if there's an opportunity to spot
notice
a trap
something
without looking for it, it's
right. So passive bonus is 13. I don't think I have much else. I have the Explorer's Pack, and I think that's it.
Yeah, and the Explorer Pack, when you get to the equipment section, will break down exactly.
I was just looking at it, yeah. I think it's got 50 feet of rope. That's what I want. Give me some sweet rope.
After
Explorer's
that,
Pack.
yeah.
It's got a backpack, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, also sometimes known as provisions, a water skin, and then 50 feet of hempen rope strapped to the side of it. Yeah, it's 50 feet. Sweet.
That's how you can tell D&D is a big budget production versus fighting fantasy is you get a rope to start with.
I'm writing provisions because that's how I do. See, that's the correct way.
Just remember, they're not magic provisions. So in D&D, the advantage of eating is you don't die of starvation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, it's like the advantage in Dark Zone drinking water. What happens? Well, you're not hydrated. You're just not dead.
You're not dead.
You're not dead.
That's what just happened. Congratulations on not being dead.
So 10 torches in a tinderbox, 10 provisions in a mess kit. I've also got backpack and bedroll. I'm just gonna write backpack next to my equipment thing because again, it feels like that's the thing that like should encompass all of this.
Yeah.
And then a water skin, 10 provisions plus water skin. Just put it all in the same. All the food stuff goes in the same line. And then I think that's it. Bedroll, and then 50 feet of rope. How much money do I start? Oh no, that's determined by where I come from, my background.
That is going to be part of.
I do want to procedurally generate my background. I like that part. And I like that that's in here. Bedroll, and then 50 feet of rope. Hell yeah. I think except for my name, my background, my languages, and my description. I gotta pick my spells still.
You actually also have to pick your skills. So at the start of the druid, it'll tell you that you get a couple skills, and then it'll tell you to choose a certain number from an additional list of skills.
Roger that. Okay, so going back to skills. I get cantrips, druidic, spellcasting, wild shape.
Oh, it'll be like right at the start, like underneath where all the class features are.
Oh, I see. I have the skill of proficiencies in light armor, medium armor, shields. Can't use metal though. Clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars. So, like, do I need to write all of these down?
No.
Okay.
Can I just see this for a second?
Yeah, go for it. And I have an herbalism kit.
Armor, weapons, tools, saving throws. Sorry, it was one page over just because of how it's formatted.
Okay,
that's your skills.
Choose 2 from Arcana, Animal Handling, Insight, Medicine, Nature, Perception, Religion, and Survival. And does my level give me any additional ones? I guess would be my next question. Because I'm level 3.
So your level doesn't give you additional skills. Your level increases your proficiency bonus, which affects your skills. Got
it, in those skills. Got it. Okay. Oh, because these are the things I get to add my proficiency bonus to. Where is the skills thing I write?
They are underneath all the stats. So whatever stat drives them. Yeah, you just, that's all you got to do.
And I get to pick 2. Only 2. Okay.
You're going to get more when you get to your background.
Right. I think getting insights and then survival. Well, nature obviously I should take. Like, why am I not taking nature? I'm a friggin' druid. That doesn't feel like a choice. That doesn't feel like a choice. I feel like something I should just have. And then I guess animal handling. Yeah. Those two things feel like correct.
All right.
And then it's cantrips and spells. So I know I have slots for 2 cantrips. I know 2 cantrips, and I have slots for 4 level 1 and 2 level 2. And then my spells are all over here. Okay, so
these are your bonus spells based on what kind of druid path you take at 3rd level.
Ooh, got it. Okay.
Your actual list of spells is all the way in.
So I'll need to decide that now, won't I, before I start picking spells?
Yeah. So what I would do is let's skip ahead a bit. I would go to your background first.
Okay.
Because it's also going to give you some other bonuses and abilities.
Okay.
Then go back to the class part.
I'll let you find that.
Sure. And you should also pick your feat, because that's what you got for not taking the full stat bonuses, right? Adventuring gear.
Are feats class driven?
No, feats are completely independent. Some of them will have prerequisites. So, for example, you can't be a heavy armor guy unless you're a medium armor guy first.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But they are completely separate from your race or your class. They're just special abilities.
Got it.
What am I looking for again?
I want silver tongued again. I want to be able to...
then you shouldn't have put your lowest stat in charisma.
Ah, nuts. I forgot about that. Whoops. I won't be talking about this one. I want animal speech.
So your backgrounds start here.
Okay.
And then you just go forward alphabetically.
Right, that's right. Yeah. Because you pick like a theme for the background.
And then you procedurally generate your traits and...
Sweet.
But once you've got one, it'll give you a couple extra skills. It'll give you a little bit of extra money. It'll give you a little extra equipment.
I'm very tempted to immediately take criminal. I don't know why, but that feels like being ostracized to the woods for being a criminal would fit me. I don't want to be a noble. I don't want to be a sage. Outlander. Oh, I kind of like Outlander.
There's Outlander. There's Hermit, which is another hideout in the woods one.
Yeah.
Criminal's definitely a thing.
Yeah, criminal is a thing. Sailor doesn't really, unless I'm like a sea druid. I can turn to a kraken. The most useful, like I turn to a mollusk.
I picture you're just a human, but you have a fish head.
That's right. I'm a street shark. I'm one of the tiger sharks. I'm that dude with the fin head.
You're like a secondary character from whenever SpongeBob goes live action.
Yeah, exactly. I could be an urchin. Ooh, I think maybe I'll be an urchin. Like I escaped to the woods because my city was poor and it was easier to survive outside.
So I will tell you, you can pick whatever you want. You can pick urchin.
Yeah.
My hesitation every time I've thought, I'll pick urchin for a character, is finding a miniature.
Yeah.
I don't have nearly as many children miniatures as I have.
Oh, but I could have just grown up an urchin, though. Do I have to be a kid? I don't have to be a kid.
I don't have to be a kid.
I'm not going to be a kid. I was going to be a guy who was an urchin. I feel like the urchin background is like Amos from...
So post Oliver Twist, Oliver Twist?
Yeah, like a Nicholas Nickleby, like where you're a grown-up urchin, basically. Or you're like Amos from The Expanse, where you grew up in the gutter.
I feel like you're not going to be like that. I feel like it's going to be more of a talented Mr. Ripley thing in the end.
I'm fine with that, too.
That's where it's going to go.
I mean, we all knew that.
It doesn't matter what I want it to be, but that's where it's going to go.
Look, man, which of these backgrounds gives me a goblin
Don't make
cadaver?
me beat you to death in this boat.
Where's a goblin cadaver in my starting equipment? I don't know. I'm on level 3. I must have accumulated goblin cadavers by now.
There's a trail of them behind.
Just a bunch of dead goblin bodies. I'm wanted in every goblin county from here to Hyrule. So, Urchin. So yeah, so my skill proficiency, I get sleight of hand and stealth. I'm into that. So I get stealth and sleight of hand. I get a disguise kit and thieves tools. Hell yeah, I do. So what does a disguise kit represent in D&D? Is a disguise kit like rubber noses and stuff?
So you don't actually get that. These are tool proficiencies that you get.
Oh, okay.
Which is a big deal though, because proficiency with thieves tools is what's required in D&D to pick locks.
Locks. Got it. Okay.
And the only way you get it is either by being a rogue or choosing the urchin or criminal background.
Got it. So I get a small knife, a map of the city I grew up in, a pet mouse, a token to remember your parents by, a set of common clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gold crowns. I have 10 gold crowns. Small knife. I have a token. I'm going to write down the token is a locket. Like valueless junk locket. And then...
And a sentimental value.
That's right. A map of the city. Map of Port Blacksand. Everyone has a Port Blacksand. Every fantasy universe.
For the record, before I moved out west, I think the last D&D campaign I ran
was
in
in Port
Ontario
Blacksand?
was in Titan.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah. And then just my clothes. I got clothes. I'm wearing clothes.
You get to have some clothes. That's nice.
Common clothes. The clothes.
Very common.
My cloth is poor. All right, so I put down my
Old Navy t-shirt. That is your clothing.
Background is urchin. Description is dirty. Dirty looking commoner. I'm very common. So now what are my language choices here?
So you'll start off with common because you're a human, and that's the common tongue.
Got it.
And then I believe from your druid section, wasn't druidic a language that you also got?
It is. The language of druids. That's right. Yeah. So common and druidic.
And then before you jump away from this, if you do want to do this procedurally generated, you have like your...
Yep, I got to roll these. Yep, I got to roll my personality trait. Oh, sorry. And also as a feature, I can travel twice as fast through city streets as anybody else. And once per day, when I'm not in combat, I can basically just like bamf to another part of the city. Yes, I know secret path. I know about like the back alleyways of getting anywhere basically. All right, so I roll a D8 for my personality trait. 6. I think anyone who's nice to me is hiding. So evil intent. That tracks.
Did you? Yeah, I was gonna say, did you roll that, or did that just?
Yeah, nice people, not to be trusted. That feels like some certain goblins we may have encountered. All right, my ideal. Here's my ideal. 2. Community. We have to take care of each other because no one else is gonna do it for us. Lawful. All right. Community. I'm a communist. That kind of goes with like the balance of nature thing. My bond is going to be a 1. My town or city is my home and I'll fight to defend it. Even like my forest. And then my flaw is a 2. Gold seems like a lot of money to me, and I'll do just about anything for more of it. I love gold. Money.
So, again, for anybody who hasn't played D&D before, these things, on one hand, they're meant to help you guide role-playing your character.
Right.
But the other thing is playing to whatever your traits, flaws, all these things are. That's how you get inspiration.
Yeah, that's how
and inspiration is basically like rerolls, advantages, stuff like that.
Yeah, advantage, roll an extra dice and pick the highest, that kind of stuff. Yeah, sweet. All right, well then I'm down to nothing. I think that's it.
So then we're gonna go back to druid.
Okay, because I gotta pick my spells and
And
stuff.
you're gonna so what I would do is pick which flavor of druid you're gonna be, because third level is Sorry, second level for druids is where you get
Is where I pick
wild shape and
wild
your
shape and
druid
druid
circle.
circle. Yeah.
So your druid circle is the thing that steers what kind of character you're going to be.
So at second level, you choose to identify with a circle, either the circle of the land or the circle of the moon. Both are detailed in the class description. Your choices grants you additional features at 2nd, 6th, 10th, and 14th. So, Druidic Circle. Circle of the Land means Circle of the Land is made up of mystics and sages who safeguard ancient knowledge and rights through vast oral traditions. I meet within circles of trees. So I get a bonus cantrip at second level. I can naturally recover some magical energy with short rests. And I get all these spells. And then Circle of the Moon, we're fierce guardians of the wilds. They're other gathered in the full moon and share news and trade warnings. They haunt the deepest parts of the wilderness where they might go for weeks on end before crossing path with another human. Let know another druid. Changeable as the moon. A druid circle might prowl as a great cat one. Oh, so this is the shapeshifter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then moon it is. Circle of the moon. So I'm going to be a shapeshifter.
Just because once you pick that, it's easier to pick your spells so that they jive with whatever.
Yeah. So combat wild shape. When you choose this circle at second level, you gain the ability to wild shape on your turn as a bonus action rather than as an action. Additionally, while you're transformed by wild shape, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 spell slot to regain D8 hit points per level of the spell slot expended. So I can heal basically regenerate.
That is a big deal.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so where do I write that on here? Oh, there's no...
Yeah, so all of your non-standard stuff would be there on the back of the sheet, whatever works for you.
So I'm doing Circle of the Moon. I'll copy this stuff down afterwards.
Sure.
Which means I can wild shape as a bonus.
Yeah, as opposed to a standard action.
And then spend spell slots to heal.
Which is huge.
And is that as a bonus action as well, or is that as an action?
What does it say?
It says you can use a bonus action to expend those spell slots. So yeah. As a bonus. Cool. So those are additional things I can just do on my turn to get hit points back without having to chug potions or do whatever. And your spell slots come back with short rests. Or long rests, sorry.
Long rests,
daily.
yeah.
You get them daily. So then I get to do a wild shape. Starting at second level, you can use your wild shape to transform into a beast with a challenge rating as high as 1. You ignore the challenge rating column for beast shapes table, but must start aside limitations there. Starting at 6th level, you can transform into something higher. So what can I transform into in the beginning?
So do you have a monster manual?
Not here.
No, but
I do have a monster manual.
If you go through the monster manual, there's a bunch of naturally occurring creatures.
Got it.
That have basically any of their challenge ratings up to 1, and you're going to find there are going to be a lot of smaller creatures.
Roger that. Well, there's a whole bunch of those right here in the back of this book. So challenge ratings on these, like a hawk or a falcon. And I can do any of these, or I have to pick one?
You pick one.
Okay, got it. Okay. So if I turn into a lion is challenge 1. So I can turn into a lion. I can turn into a mastiff who's challenge 1/8. So 8 mastiffs would be like 1.
No, so you turn into 1 creature. So it would be...
No, I know. I'm just saying, it would be not worth doing a mastiff.
You mean if you're structuring an encounter, for sure.
Yeah, so like a giant eagle would be cool because then I could be challenge rating 1. A giant spider would be cool, and a spider.
And again, I'll suggest to you that most experienced D&D players playing a druid, they pick their animal. So you get that animal's stats basically when you're in that form, but most of them pick it based on what the animal can do. So they either pick a flying animal or a swimming animal or a sneaking animal.
Yeah. Because being able to... And I have a pet mouse. So I do... Oh, I did need to know... Oh, no, I could have a pet mouse. I want something that won't eat a mouse automatically and won't scare a mouse.
Well, you're still you when you turn into it.
Oh, maybe the mouse will be friendly with me.
So if you turn into a falcon or a hawk or a...
I'll be a mouse who's friends with a cat.
You can just be friends with the mouse. See, you don't have to be the Tom to his Jerry.
I feel like infiltrating a city, you want to be able to be something fairly like innocuous if you want to be able to infiltrate, but also just being able to like move around is probably also really important. So turning into a rat's not a terrible idea. And I gain additional forms, it says, at 6th level. So at 6th, I can be challenge level 3 as well. So I will get another beast shape, basically. But you must abide by the limitations there. So,
and that's usually where people start picking things that have legit combat abilities, like animals that have big claws.
Yeah, they can't can't just go around.
But your challenge rating 1 animals are not.
Imagine I turn into a warhorse and let people just ride me around.
You just be Mr. Horse from Ren and
That's
Stimpy.
right. Yeah, just be BoJack Horseman. Just be an alcoholic horse wandering around being homeless.
Why not?
I mean, I feel like the easiest thing to sneak into a city in is a horse. I could be a liger, which doesn't feel like it's fairly unassuming. I think
just
being
followed around by Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, I don't want to be a giant eagle because I feel like a giant eagle is just too conspicuous, although it's cool.
It would bug the crap out of people with me making bird noises every time you turned into it.
And also, you can't turn into a giant eagle and hide in a dungeon. It would be like completely useless in like a condensed environment.
Anybody know how that giant eagle got in here?
Yeah, it's supposed to be this eagle.
That thing looks out of place.
In the wrong place.
Said the orc to the skeleton.
Wait, I could turn into a bat and be a Batman and be an urchin that turns into a bat.
You could.
I'm going to turn into a bat. I'm going to wild shape a bat because that could go anywhere.
Because I'm Batman.
And then I get to be like, pray to me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn into a bat, and then later I'll turn into a giant bat. I'll be a little scared. I'm going to be.
You wouldn't even have to wait. If you were a bat, you could piggyback on your mouse friend, right? And it'd be like you were already a larger bat.
Exactly. And then we could be like, I'll be a flying mouse, and he'll be a mouse.
You'd be the master blaster.
I'll be the floater mouse.
You could be the rodent master blaster.
I'll be a floater mouse, and he'll be a mouse. A mouse. All right, so then spells. So now that I'm Batman, this is shaping up perfectly. I need to go look at my available bonus. I need to pick a feat still, don't I?
Yeah, you might want to pick your feat first because some of the feats. You want me to help you with that?
Yeah.
Some of the feats are things like Spell Sniper, which will give you bonuses to certain types of spell casting.
Okay. I feel like being a character that, again, this is why I want to be able to do like unconventional things. I want my character to be able to like sneak around and get in places you couldn't normally get into.
And if you're a bat, you can also poop on things you wouldn't normally be able to
poop on. I could guano them. Yep.
So it starts here and it goes for many, many pages.
Ooh, so alert, I gain a +5 bonus to initiative. You can't be surprised while I'm conscious. Other creatures don't get advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being hidden. That one feels amazing.
There's a bunch of them that are going to feel amazing.
Athlete. I mean, if I'm Batman, I am basically an Olympic gymnast, which is also cool. Increase your strength and dexterity by 1 to a maximum of 20. Ooh, that could get me to a bonus for strength, which is kind of cool. When you're prone, standing up only uses 5 feet of your movement. I mean, I'm already passive perception of 13 and initiative +4. I'd be initiative +9 if I took alert. That'd be incredible. I could be a skilled actor. No, none of these. None of these look great. I could just be lucky.
Lucky is huge.
Have 3 luck points. Whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional d20. So you basically just buy advantage.
Yep.
When you get your luck back. When you do a long rest, just 3.
I will tell you, luck is the feat that a lot of DMs just straight out outlaw.
Just ban. I was gonna say,
we're not having that.
Yeah, it feels like
I'm down with it.
It feels like it is the one that you want to ban. Grappler. I mean, that's another Batman-y one, but I'm not strength 13, so I can't get that one. Savage Attacker. When you roll damage for a melee attack, you can reroll weapons damage dice and use either total. Oof. Martial Adept. No. Mobile. No. Mage. Some of these do not seem created equal to the others.
No. And some of them also work extremely well in a more traditional D&D group setting, like that Sentinel ability. I had that in a Dragonlance game I played, and it was killer. But in a game where you're one player, it's useless.
I could be the world's greatest detective and be observant.
You could.
I could be observant and be the world's greatest detective. I'm already kind of like a gymnast, just with my base stats. I'm so tempted. If I do observant though, I can also read anyone's lips if I speak the same language as them, and I get a +5 bonus to passive perception and intelligence checks, which means my passive perception is 18. That's wild. I just notice everything that's going on.
Pretty much.
I think I'm gonna do observant as my feat.
You're Denzel Washington in The Equalizer.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I just set my watch and then start killing people.
9 seconds
with corkscrews. So feats, is there a place for feats on here?
Again, no. This is the stuff that you'd list in an extra section.
So my feat is going to be observant, and that's going to give me an 18 for my passive perception.
Which is huge.
Which is massive.
That or alert, so observant will keep you from getting surprised by just about anything, and if you'd gone with alert, it means you're almost always going to go first in every.
And I can increase my intelligence or wisdom. I'm going to increase my wisdom to a 17 because it means that later on it's going to get to a +4 real quick.
Yep.
And then I can read lips. And then I got my +5 bonus to perception investigation. So investigation is right here. I get +5 just off the bat. So I get +8 to investigation rolls, and my passive perception is 18. And in my perception check, I get +5 too as well. So I should put down perception as a...
Which is huge, because perception is a bit of a catch-all. It's kind of like when we were playing Advanced Fighting Fantasy, and it was what was it?
So I get my proficiency bonus on these too, don't I? Oh, I'm not proficient in it though.
No, you're not proficient. You don't get your proficiency bonus as well.
But I get a +5
but
basic.
You get +5, yeah.
And I don't have investigation either as proficiency. I just get a natural plus. So if I become proficient, I'm +7.
Correct.
Whoo, boy. Okay, then that's my feat. And so now we're doing...
So then it's time to do spells.
It's doing spells, okay.
So if we go... So the spells are all broken down alphabetically, and then if you go to the very back of the book, it has the spells listed by class, by level.
Okay. Perfect. So level 3 for a druid. Oh, I get 2 cantrips. Now, cantrips are ones I can cast an unlimited number of times per day, right?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, Shillelagh's one of them. That's pretty cool. Druidcraft is one of them. What does Druidcraft do?
That one
I know mending is cool because mending is like if like a lock's broken, I can fix it. Like any simple like thing I can basically fix, like clothing or rips or whatever. Poison spray is interesting. Produce flame could be really handy as a cantrip actually, because I could make light basically at any time, which is kind of cool. So I think I'm going to take as my cantrips, I'm going to take Produce Flame, just because I feel like that is a survival thing, if nothing else. And then Shillelagh's cool. Wait, did I get any bonus cantrips for being level 3? I don't remember. Hang on. I might have bonus cantrips.
I think you were still 2.
Just 2?
Okay. I think it was 2/4/2, if I remember right.
I think you're right. I think there was no bonuses yet. No, it's next level. I get a bonus cantrip. Okay. So then I will take... And what's guidance? Guidance feels like it helps me hit something if I throw it.
Yeah, and once you get into the spells, they're all alphabetical. They're not sorted by class, which is why they have the class list first.
Smart.
Some classes use the same spells.
Yeah, and they just go over and over again. That makes sense. Oh, okay. Goodberry? Goodberry looks cool. Guidance. You touch one willing creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll d4 and add the number rolled to an ability check. Oh, you get a bonus to your ability check for guidance. Basically, I make somebody else good at doing something. I have the ability to do Shillelagh. What's Thorn Whip? Thorn Whip feels like it might be a finesse weapon.
Sounds like a whip made of thorns to me.
It does indeed sound like that. QRST, spider. There's a lot of spider things here. Tasha Yar's thing. You create one long vine-like whip covered in thorns. Make a melee attack targeting the target. If attack hits, the creature takes d6 piercing damage, and the creature's larger or smaller, you pull it 10 feet closer to you.
You're Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
I am Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Or Batman with a Batarang.
Oh, you're right.
The other big advantage of a spell like that is that if you're in a situation where you don't have weapons or you get disarmed, you still have a weapon.
I still have a stem of a plant and thorns. Instantaneous. Create a long vine-like whip covered in thorns. It takes out your command towards a creature in range. What's the duration? It just happens once. It's instantaneous. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because it's a cantrip. You cast it, you use it.
No, you had me a Batman. Thorn Whip.
You can also be the Briar Queen now.
I can be.
And if Batman was the Briar Queen, that'd be rad.
Also, I'm Batman. And then I'm going to get 4 level 1 spell slots and 2 level 2s. Now, does that mean I know 4 level 1 spells?
Correct. It means I would just start off by 4 level 1s, 2 level 2s, and then you basically can pick and choose from them.
Got it.
Using your slots as you go.
So level 1, I'm going to obviously do Cure Wounds. Because I can heal myself with my spell slot, but this lets me cure other people. I'm going to go for Speak with Animals. Animal Friend. And then I could do Fog Cloud because I'm Batman. All of my choices are Batman-based choices, just so that everyone watching.
Why'd you make these mechanically poor choices? Because I'm Batman.
Because I cannot wait to try and find a miniature for this guy. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah.
Why don't you just do the silver bayonet thing? Why don't you just take like a bunch of big smoke clouds? And
I'm going to be.
That's my character. My character is this smoke cloud.
Der Fledermaus.
There's got to be tick miniatures.
So it feels like others of these, like. Locate object could be super handy. Oh, pass without trace, obviously. Just disappear while someone's in the middle of a sentence. And then...
Why does he do that? Why are you turning me into Commissioner Gordon?
Can I moonbeam as a bat signal? What does moonbeam do? This all feels like it needs to be to theme now. I'm doing it. I
don't remember who was doing it, but on social media, somebody was doing a whole series of articles that were like, how to make Batman as a D&D character, how to make Iron Man.
So Owen did that. Owen made Iron Man as a D&D character with an alchemist, where he had like a pistol that basically like shot out of his hands, and he had flying magical armor and like all that stuff. It's definitely a thing. Sorry, I had what was it? Moonbeam. A silver beam of pale light shines down a 5-foot radius, a 40-foot high cylinder. Centered on a point within range. Until the spell ends, dim light fills the area. When a creature enters the spell's area, it's engulfed in ghostly flames that cause searing pain. What? A shape changer makes its saving throw. I basically make a moon trap? I'm so into this. Yeah, hell's yeah, moonbeam. Pass without trace and moonbeam. So I've produced flame and thorn up as my cantrips. My level 1s are Cure Wounds, Speak with Animals, Animal Friend, and Fog Cloud. And then I pass without trace and moonbeam as my other spells. That's all my spells picked.
There you go.
That's it.
So you need a name and you need a miniature, and then it's time to throw down.
Wayne the Bruce, should I be? Obviously I'm an orphan.
I'm Woos Brain.
I'm Woos Brain. Do not trust friendly people, especially if they're Kryptonian. My city screams because community is all that's important. I'm going to defend Gotham Forest.
You're just Batman.
I'm going to defend my home. And I love money because I'm a billionaire.
I love that we ended up here.
This is so perfect.
Alfred is so going to turn.
Alfred is definitely going to do so. So I'm just going to be...
Alfred, this sandwich is terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I did to the last person who said that to me? Hired a thug to kill her and her husband.
That's right. I'm going to be Bryce Vlane. Bryce Vlane. He's the definitely not Batman or Der Fledermaus of the Harper's Tale.
The Wish.com Batman.
He's the Wish.com Batman, yeah. I'm going to get killed immediately. This is going to be Batman year 3, and Batman's just going to get killed. You know, this is what would actually happen if someone tried to become Batman.
Why don't we just shoot that guy as soon as he dropped off that building? What are we doing here?
Yeah, so in my background, I'm an urchin because the person in charge of my family's vast fortune basically took the company away from me, and I had to go live on the streets. It's what would happen if, like, Nicholas, if I basically was expelled from the house afterwards. So whoever had my parents killed took our family merchant house, and I had to live on the streets.
Rutger Hauer, right? It was Rutger Hauer.
I was going to say Zambar Bone, but I'm fine with either one. That also works. It's not Zambar Bone. Noted industrialist Zambar Bone. Noted industrialist Lord Azur.
The Night Prince.
That's right, the Night Prince.
The Night Prince is taking my family from me.
So I get to try and find I'm like Robert Pattinson.
You need to
Batman.
find an urchin druid Batman miniature.
I'm definitely Robert Pattinson Batman. Imagine how bad that guy smelled. Just in his like same clothing all the time. I just listening to like whatever the minstrel version of Nirvana is, playing "Come as You Are" over and over again. So I gotta hunt down a model. this week, hopefully the actual set comes and we can start running these adventures.
I believe it is out for delivery.
Oh, fantastic. So there we go. So out for delivery. So this was it. Session 0 for unnamed. It must be in the out for delivery message. Look at your phone.
It's not because that message is from Canada Post.
Okay. It's not your email either. Okay. I'm going to look it up. I need to know what the name of this thing is now so we can put the actual title.
Mantic.
It's got to be here somewhere.
Games.
Mantic Dungeon Box.
I think it's Mantic Terrain Crate Adventures.
Oh, okay.
It's the first one. It's got a skeleton on the cover.
Terrain Crate Adventures. Dungeon Adventures. A Friday Adventure in a Wizard's Tower. Nope. This one's called... It has a skeleton on the cover?
Yeah.
I see all of these except not their name. Oh, wait. Into the Necromancer's Lair is what this one's called.
Ash, it's called Into the Necromancer's Lair.
Into the Necromancer's Lair we will go. If that Necromancer happens to be making some type of laughing gas, then this would
I would think if he's a Necromancer, he's probably going to be Raz.
Oh, no, freeze. He had to freeze himself.
Nora.
He's trying to bring back his... He's trying to bring
Why
back...
won't you come back to me, Nora?
Yeah, that's right. The Necromancer's trying to bring back his wife by stealing diamonds. Diamonds will bring back my life.
I was going to say...
Ice and diamonds go together.
Is this going to turn into a week of me watching Batman the Animated Series at home trying to get the voices right?
I hope so. I hope so much. Well, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching episode 0 of Into the Necromancer's Lair. I like how we got to it at the end, and we'll link all this relevant
stuff. Think of it as a teaser. It wasn't. It was. We knew it the whole time.
We did.
We were just. This was the reveal at the end.
Got it.
This was the Rod Sterling twist.
And we're gonna try and employ in the actual first episode. We're gonna try and actually employ some physical dungeon stuff. Like there's gonna be some actual 3D dungeon.
Oh, we are.
And I'm gonna do some new camera tricks and stuff too with a third camera thing that we can see that overlay. Because we had pictures for the Fighting Fantasy stuff. We're gonna have miniatures for this one. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about me and see what I'm up to, you can check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/outofthebasement-into-the-streets or Instagram at Guerrilla Miniature Games. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Guerrilla Miniature Games, and of course, you can now follow on Patreon if you don't want to back and see what's new. Thanks for watching.